गाइस, वेलकम बैक टू द चैनल। आज का जो ब्लॉग है बहुत ही ज़्यादा स्पेशल है क्योंकि आज मैं आप लोगों के सामने लेकर आई हूँ केटी एस्ट्रोलॉजर को, जो कि कैलिफोर्निया से स्पेशली आप लोगों से बात करने के लिए आए हैं। तो मेरे दो टॉपिक्स हैं जो मैं आज इनके साथ डिस्कस करने वाली हूँ, जो कि बहुत ही कॉमन टॉपिक है जिसपे सब लोग बात करना चाहते हैं, जिसके बारे में हर कोई जानना चाहता है। तो फर्स्ट इज मनी। पैसे के बारे में हर कोई जानना चाहता है कि पैसा हमारे हाथ में आ तो जाता है पर रुकता नहीं है। लक्ष्मी है, वो तो चंचल होती है, तो निकल जाती है हाथ से। तो सो वी वांट नो कि हाउ कैन वी होल्ड मनी, इट डजंट स्टिक टू अस, इट डजंट स्टे विद अस। सो
The basic problem is you got to check the Venus on your chart, because Venus is the responsible for cash flow and Jupiter represents the wealth. Some people will be making good money. For example, if their astrological chart, the birth chart, the 11th house represents income through employment. So if their income may be very good, they will be making very good money. But the problem is, if they have a malefic Venus, the money will not stick with them. Either they will be spending a lot, or they will be interested in helping others. They will give money to someone else, or they will spend money for others, and they will not return the money to them. So they lose the money. But the Jupiter placement will be good, and sometimes Mars placement is also be good, and Mars is good for real estate investments. The best thing to do is, if you have a malefic Venus, you got to look for the other two supporting planets, which is Jupiter, and Jupiter represents the wealth and common wealth that includes everything, assets or jewelries and everything. And Mars represents real estate investments. So in case if you have a good Mars and Jupiter, or even if you have a good Mars, that is good enough, so you can put money in real estate investments, then that will grow like anything. So if you have say for example the tangible assets, if you have got say for example 50,000 rupees, then you can buy gold jewelry, then that may stick with you.
okay.
But if you keep money in cash, that or a savings account, that will drain out very fast. And if you open up multiple credit card, you will max out each and everything.
So how to control it? How to
Have only one credit card. If you are having a bad Venus, don't even have a credit card. But in some cases, you may need credit card for sure, because they need credit card. Then you can have only one credit card, and limit your you can forcefully lower the limit. So instead of having 1 lakh, have say 25,000 limit, and so that you will not overspend it. And if you have accumulated money, then immediately go and buy some gold bar and store it in the locker. In case if you have accumulated good amount of wealth, then the next thing you can do is you can liquidate and then buy a land, small plot, and then the land value will keep going. And if you accumulated 2 or 3 plot and the land value has increased, then you can sell it and then rebalance to buy a bigger home and then hold it. So this is the way you can control it, and you will have mortgage on it, and whatever the money you are earning, and that will go to mortgage. So the spending will be there. And you cannot grow money by saving money in your bank account. That is the logic. But if you can convert it into fixed assets, it will stick with you.
Yeah, right. So what should we do to make money?
Make money is you got to look at the 11th house, and if 11th house is good, automatically income will be flowing good. And in case for example people will have a bad 11th house, then the income through employment will be very less. Then the next option is 8th house and 12th house. 8th house represents gambling or lottery or inherited assets. So some people will be interested in stock trading or investments, and they will do very well. If they have a very good 8th house, they can go for stock trading or gambling. But of course gambling is an addiction, so when I say gambling, then you got to be very careful. Only you can do gamble when your time is good and when your 8th house is good. Otherwise you will lose money. So just even the gambling looks good, you got to be a little bit careful. But that will give you enormous amount of wealth. And 12th house represents long-term investments also. So you can buy a stock and hold it for few years, then you will make money on that. So that is another source of accumulating wealth. And you can ask then, what if a 6th, 8th or 12th and 11th all houses goes wrong? It is unlikely that all the charts, or at least one house will be good. You will have very good 6th or 8th or 12th or 11th house. Not all houses, all 4 things can be bad, and you will have problem on that. So Based on which houses are good, you can make the decision based on that. And in case your sixth house is good, you can get into business. So by doing business, you will make a lot of money because there is no competition. Sixth house represents competition. So you can use your sixth house to make money, or you can use eighth house, that is the gambling, to make money, or long-term investment, 12th house to make money. Or if 11th house is good, you can do job and generate income. So you cannot have all 4 houses bad in one chart. It is very, very rare. And 5th house represents general speculation and fortune. So that's another supporting house. In case even if you have a good house, if you have a 5th house, you can also do speculation to make money. So there are so many houses. So you can have to understand your strength. In case you have a very good 11th house but very bad 8th house, then never play gambling, because whatever the money you make, you lose in your gambling. If you go to speculative option trading, then you lose the money. So just be careful on which one can give money. There are 5 houses I mentioned, and you can choose which one is strong on your horoscope and stick to that, then you will be fine.
Can you please explain in a very easy language, because there are so many people who doesn't understand houses and charts. So can you please explain them?
Yeah, sure. In your horoscope, when you cast a birth chart, there are 12 houses, and you know the 12 houses are there. And similarly, first house represents your ascendant, and it goes from first to second, and then all the way to the 12th. And there are some houses which represents and which is useful for making money. Second house represents the accumulation of the wealth. How much wealth you can accumulate, that is determined by the second house.
Second house.
Yes. And third house is for communication and siblings. It also represents siblings. And also the first house represents the person as you. That is that represents the characteristics of the person. And second house, as I mentioned, it is an accumulation of the wealth, and the way how you speak and communication skills, all these things goes to second house. And third house represents communication, younger siblings, and also it represents the popularity, amount of fame you get. And fourth house represents your wealth. The fourth house represents how close you are with your maternal side relatives and your mother, and how luxury your lifestyle will be. That is determined by the fourth house. And fifth house represents your children, family, and general fortune and speculation. And sixth house represents its Runaroga Chaturasthana, that is an health, hidden enemies or disease. And this one you can find whether you have enemies or not. So the competition can be competition in a business can be analyzed with the sixth house. Seventh house represents Kalatarasthana, which represents your spouse. In case if you don't have good chart to run the business, your spouse is having a good chart, then that can be checked. So the seventh house is represents spouse mainly, or business partnership. And eighth house represents longevity and other secret things that includes gambling also, or unearned income, unearned wealth which comes through inheritance, gambling, or filing lawsuit and getting money out of it. And ninth house represents Bhagyasthana, and that is the overall fortune and higher education and travel to foreign land are determined by the ninth house. And 10th house represents the kind of job you do or a career. And 11th house represents the income and the fulfillment, or income through employment can be checked through the 11th house. And 12th house represents it also represents the how good your sleep quality will be, and also it represents whether you will have future birth or not. And it also represents your long-term investment, not the short-term speculation, or not short-term investment or speculation. It's a long-term investments.
Lovely. तो मतलब इन 12 हाउस के अंदर आपकी ज़िंदगी का हर एस्पेक्ट होता है, आपके सोने से लेके आपके उठने से लेके आपकी पूरी लाइफस्टाइल उसमें होती है. तो which is just wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. KT.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you
so
very much.
much.